Erm is in the house. Hey, Erm. So I know you guys were all at different schools. You guys have IB anthropology at your school? Anybody? If you do, you can take it. No. Well. Hey, Miss Williams. Katie's in the building. We had some new names. Hey, y'all. Okay, God. All right. We got Kane. We all have allergies, I'm assuming, right? All this coughing going on. Ooh, it's a lot of new names today. Oh no, more people got the Rona. I know. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Every time I cough, I'm like, I know. It's my allergies though. I have got a lot of allergies. Aileen. Aileen, I loved your picture too. Alex is in the building. Prince Charles got the Rona. No, I saw that. Oh my goodness. Oh, Andy. Yes. I'm like, I hope Megan didn't get it. Idris is in the house. Yeah, I hope hopefully he's okay. Wait, Kim, are you guys gonna do the Is there another meeting today at 11? Uh-oh. Tell your teachers stop scheduling things. Oh, it's at 12. It's for our team. It's later in the day. Oh, okay. Okay. So while we wait a few more minutes for people to pop in, they might get a little emotional, just FYI. I'm a crybaby at heart, so don't judge me. Don't judge me. Hi, Eileen. Hey, Daisy. How you doing this morning, Miss Williams?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
I'm good. I am well.
More people. I know.
Yeah, I am well. Hi, Daisy. So,
I know, but it's also really early, guys. So it's still 11:03. You guys just pop in early. So, and usually we get started around like 11:08, 11:09. So we're gonna give everyone. That's right. Oh, well, we like it too. We have we adults need this just as much as y'all do. So,
this is true.
yep. I know, but you know, I think what messed everything up to was like Thursday we didn't have that class, and so it's taking people a little bit longer to make it back doing yoga today. Okay, because I know Roni's doing yoga. Okay.
Sorry, Miss Weirdway.
You guys are a mess. Oh, there's James. Jameson's in the house. So today's class is going to be a little bit heavy. Just FYI. So if you have tissues on deck, or maybe not, maybe you're not a crier, maybe it's just me.
Why?
Well, you'll see.
Uh-oh. I forgot what we said we were doing today. I thought we were doing reconstruction amendments.
Yeah, so we will get to that. But I wanted to spend some time putting a little bit of a human face to we're going to be talking about ads that were placed immediately. Yeah. That's what we're going
to Daisy.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we better get to breathing.
Yeah, we breathe it out. Maybe we should do the breathing like after now.
Before and after.
Before and after. Exactly. Okay. So it is 11:06. We are going to be emotional. Ooh, this is deep. I know. Womp womp. Yeah. Oh, cool, Irma. All right, so I'm going to start screen sharing. I have a window. I do have a window. One of these days, things will get easier in terms of technology business because
you're still doing way better than me.
like I done totally lost the screen that I was just on. So now I have to find it. Let me put this in the box. So this is for like sometimes I miss questions during class, and anybody can edit it. So just FYI. So Ms. Williams, you can edit. Anybody with the link can edit. So if we ever miss a question, if we don't get to a question, you guys can click on that link and throw some stuff in there, and we can always go back and check and respond. Okay, I found it. All right, so I'm going to share. Present.
Hey, Edel.
I'm requesting. What did James say?
No, Irma said her access was denied.
Really? Okay. All right, wait. Let me fix it. This can be fixed. Share with others. Anyone?
not on cam.
Okay. All right, try it again. All right, there we go. Somebody just popped in there. Anonymous Narwhal. Okay. And we have anonymous Dingo. All right, good. So you guys got it.
Ooh.
Those are the names they give to the kids. All right. So we kind of already talked about the do now question, but this is just to get us in the mindset. So we'll do that after our breathing. All right, so this is perhaps like my favorite part of class. We're gonna get our breathing on. All right, so I want everybody to breathe in all the goodness, anything good that has happened to you, or any positivity that has come out of the crazy world we're living in right now. I want you to breathe all of that in really deeply. And exhale all the negativity, all the sadness, all the anxiety. Breathe in goodness. And exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Your eyes, listen to the sounds. And exhale. And breathe in. And exhale. And exhale. All right. Okay. So as a reminder, you guys know I cannot see the screen. I can't see the chat when I'm presenting, so just FYI. Okay. So the question I have for you guys today: why do you think Reconstruction fails? Why do you think Reconstruction failed? And anybody can share.
Okay. I think that Reconstruction failed because it wasn't focused on long enough to create a permanent change. Because while the occupation was still happening, there was some changes for the better.
Yes.
There was always a lot of resistance within the South itself. And once Republicans decided that they wanted to focus on other issues, they didn't feel like they felt like they had done enough in terms of Reconstruction, and they left.
Yeah.
Things deteriorated pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's really important that you said during the occupation, right? During the time where there were still troops in the South and also members of the Freedmen's Bureau, there were a lot of changes for the better that happened. And for a minute there, it looked like we would have a society where we all could live and be a part of. And unfortunately, that deteriorates very quickly. A lot of people say that Lincoln's death is one of the big reasons why that deteriorates. I would say his choice in vice president didn't help. So there's that. So I can't see if anyone else wanted to share, but we're going to move onto the screen where we were yesterday. Okay, so these are just some key things that I wanted to just throw up there as like an overview. We're going to go more deeply into a few things in a second. but this is just like the basics that I wanted you guys to have. So we talked about Special Field Order number 15 yesterday. That was ordered by General Sherman. And again, this was the area from the Carolinas to Florida that they wanted to, mostly rice fields that they wanted to take. They were abandoned fields. Many of it was owned by former slave masters, and they wanted to take that, divide it up into 40 acres and give it to free Blacks. As we said yesterday, this would have been a game changer, but unfortunately, that fell through the cracks. And notice that that was January, so that was even before the Civil War had actually ended. You had the Freedmen's Bureau that was created, established March 3rd, 1865. And I'll make sure the blue are links. So I'm going to make sure you guys have access to those links when class is over, just so you know. But there's just like additional reading or information that you can do for these things. So the Civil War is going to officially end April 9th, 1865. That is with the surrender of Lee in Virginia. And of course, they're still going to be fighting because it takes a little while for information to get from place to place to place, place to place to place. But eventually, everyone is going to give up and say, all right, the jig's up. Unfortunately, a couple of days later, as we all know, my man Abraham Lincoln was at the theater trying to, you know, enjoy a show. And then here comes this guy with a gun and shoots him, and he dies, ends up dying the next day. Anybody want to take a guess as to who that guy with the gun is? First person to put a hand emoji in the chat box.
Anybody else?
I know something. You guys, everyone should know that.
Someone said Milk Booth, but it's John Wilkes Booth.
Good. Okay, now, immediately after he's shot, who takes his place as president? Anybody can call it out before I write.
Andrew Johnson.
Good. All right, and anybody want to, well, I'll ask it. Anybody want to take a guess as to why Lincoln would even have someone like Johnson as his vice president?
Maybe because it was like a logical choice for like national unity and stuff.
Yeah, trying to get as many votes as possible. It still doesn't end up working. Yikes. Okay. I thought I had this one, do not disturb. Okay, I have lost my presenting screen. Can you guys still see the presentation? Yeah, okay. I have to find the screen. I don't, okay, I'm back. Ooh, all right. So, yes, that is what happens with Lincoln. We talked yesterday also about Juneteenth. It is a holiday that's celebrated all over the country. You guys might not have heard of it, but it's a big deal even here in Philly. We actually have an annual parade, and it is just to celebrate. And this is erroneously said when all Black people got their freedom. That's actually not true. Juneteenth actually happened all across the South because people were informed in different places of when the Civil War was over. Later on, you're going to have the ratification of the 13th Amendment on December 6, 1865. And if you were a Southern state that was coming back into the Union, you had to ratify this amendment. It was a must. And we're going to talk about the 13th Amendment later on, so don't think that I'm skipping. All right, so what do you think was the most pressing concerns for Black people immediately after the Civil War ended? Give me some responses. You guys can just throw them out there. Give me one at a time.
They were worried about violence and education.
Okay, violence, education. What else? And remember, I can't see the chat. So if you're not able to speak, if someone else could read, if someone's typing it, that would be awesome. Okay, so we have violence, we have education. Anybody else want to take a stab before we continue? I'll do like a oh, here we go.
Financial stability.
Aha. All right. Anything else? So we have violence, education, financial stability. I'll give you guys 5 more seconds. I'll do like a countdown. All right. So, did anybody say that one? I can't see the chat.
Miss Wesley said family.
Someone said family.
Miss Wesley.
Wesley. All right. Yes. So that was the #1 thing, reunification of families. And we're going to talk more about that in a second. We also have land for Blacks. I guess we can put that under financial stability, right? Education. Absolutely. Okay. So, and then that's going to be solved, or not that's going to be solved, but the Freedmen's Bureau is going to attempt to solve these issues. And sharecropping becomes one of the examples that is utilized to, notice my air quotes, help free Black people. All right. So, family reunification was extremely, extremely important. And I want you guys to, for a minute, take a second, think about the fact that when the Civil War ends, 4 million Black people who were enslaved become free. Imagine, first of all, think about the fact that these people never thought that they, in a million years, would actually gain their freedom. They've endured the worst atrocities that you can think of, from rape to murder to, I would think, the most egregious separation of family. Imagine you are a mother and there's nothing you can do, and have, imagine your mother is nothing you can do because your husband is being sold away. Your children are being sold away. And now here you are, you have this opportunity for freedom. And the very first thing that people want to do is find their family. So I said I was going to do this, but this is really hard because as a mother, I could not imagine being separated from my children. And we have a primary source here from a mom who is concerned about her children. So anybody want to read that out for me? Can I get a volunteer?
Miss Elizabeth Williams, who now resides in Maryville, California, was formerly owned together with her children via Linda, William, Allen, and Parker by one John Petty, who lived about 6 miles from the town of Woodbury, Frank County, Tennessee. At the time, she was the wife of Sandy Rucker and was familiar known as Betsy, sometimes called Betsy Petty.
Mhm.
About 25 years ago, the mother was sold to Mr. Marshall Strong, by whom some 12 or 14 years later she was, for the second time since purchased by him, taken to Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Arkansas. She has never seen the above-named children since. Any information given concerning them, however, will be gratefully received by one whose love for her children survived the bitterness and hardship of many long years spent in slavery.
Yes. So this ad really underscores the unbreakable bond that parents have with their children, and in particular mothers. She hasn't seen her children in 25 years. And she still is searching for them. She still wants to be reunited with them. And I think that this ad and the one after it really highlights the importance of this. Anybody wants to read this second ad? Let's get someone.
Information wanted of my son, Alan Jones. He left me before the war in Mississippi. He wrote me a letter in 1853, in which letter he said that he was sold to the highest bidder, a gentleman in Charleston, South Carolina. Nancy Jones, his mother, would like to know the whereabouts of the above-named person. Any information may be sent to Reverend J.W. Turner, pastor of AME Church, Ottawa, Kansas.
Yes. Thank you. So these ads underscore once again the importance of family and the reunification of family. And many Black families, actually, I think the actual number is over 300 of these ads were placed immediately after the Civil War. And people continue to place them for about 3 to 4 to 5 years after the Civil War, still trying to find their loved ones. And one important thing that I want to point out, you guys notice that they asked that the information be sent to Reverend J.W. Turner, who's the pastor at the AME Church. This is really important. Most people might overlook that information, but as we talked about before, churches were actually essential places for the abolitionist movement, and they became essential places post-Civil War in trying to help and also in reuniting Black families. And the African Methodist Episcopal Church is really important because it comes from Philadelphia. And I am not going to give any more information on that because I want to now move on to this question. And that question is, how many of you have ever heard of the name Richard Allen? Anybody? Miss Wayne said, me? No, I have.
Wasn't he like an educator?
In a preacher way, yes. Does somebody have a question? I'm just now looking at the chat box. Heard the name, don't remember why.
Back to like the posters, how helpful were they? Like, were a lot of people reunited, or was it like very hard still?
it was really hard. So some people were able to be reunited with their families, but unfortunately, for most of the cases, they never were able to find their family or be reunited with their family. So unfortunately, people were lost forever, and it's really sad. And then not only this, but what later compounds this is due to the Great Migration, a lot of Black people then have another huge exodus from the South, and also continue to lose those contacts with their Southern family. So, yeah, they were helpful in some cases, but in many cases they were not. Okay, so back to Richard Allen. So when we're doing history, a lot of times we overlook the importance of the history that we have right here in our own backyard. Philadelphia is full of rich history. If you ever are walking through neighborhoods, especially downtown or in Germantown, and you see these blue plaques, you definitely want to stop and read them, because they're a wealth of information. And one of those plaques, you will find information about Richard Allen. So I'm surprised nobody said, I heard of it. I think it's like a housing project in North Philly, which it is. But this man is so much more than that. And we're going to take a little bit of time in explaining the importance of Richard Allen. So Richard Allen, along with another preacher by the name of Absalom Jones, decided to branch out and create their own denomination of the Methodist Episcopal Church. And this happened because one day they were worshiping at St. George Methodist Episcopal Church. And this church was mainly created for white parishioners. And as they were praying, they were forced to get up because there wasn't enough space for the white members of the church. And as the Black membership grew, they were relegated to the back of the church. And Richard Allen and Absalom Jones, as preachers, also were not allowed to preach to the entire congregation. So once that happened, they came together along with other Black preachers during that time period here in Philadelphia and decided, you know what? We are not going to allow this to continue. We're going to create our own church. And this was done it was officially made a denomination in 1816. And this is important because before they created their church, they were also members of the Free African Society, also known as FAST, which was established in 1787. And that society was one that wanted to focus on helping Black people, not just those enslaved, but also those who were free. And this denomination becomes known as the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Richard Allen did something amazing in that he was able to purchase a ton of land, and this land being in South Philly. So if you guys have anybody ever gone to South Street, there is what is the name of that? What is the name of that place? Federal Donuts. Anybody ever been to the Federal Donuts in South Philly on South Street? I can't see the hands. Ms. Williams, if you can let me know if anybody's ever been here. Yes, no. I hate not being able to see the chat box. I go there all the time. Federal Donuts is my stuff. No, I haven't. Yes. Nope. Okay. So if you guys ever get there, wait for this to pop up. If you guys ever get there, I would say take a moment and walk a few blocks up to see the Mother Bethel. Uh-oh. All right, we'll get it back. It's gonna. Come on, internet. What are we doing? Okay, so if you guys ever get a chance, if you go down near to South Street, you definitely want to come and you want to visit the church because it is a wealth of information and it's now a museum. Yes. Who said that, Tiffany? Yes. Yes. And so someone said you need some. I don't know where my mic went. So yes, this was, and so the church actually remained open and helped many people during that yellow fever. So yes, Tiffany. Okay. All right, don't judge me. I am going to try to get this presentation back up and running. So I'm going to reopen it. Give me 2 seconds, guys, or maybe a little bit more. Okay. This is technology for you.
Found my mic.
Yay! And I found virtual classroom presentation. So okay, now I'm gonna go back to presenting so we can pull that back. Technology is just not happy today. I know. Like, what are we doing? Yes, Tiffany. Okay, I'm presenting. Tiffany coming through with the facts. Philly history. Yes. Period, Pooh. Okay, let me stop. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. All right. Now, come on now. Come on. Don't do this to me. All right, let me go check my router. I'll be right back, guys. We're going to get it together.
Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, Tiffany, I didn't know that. So now I have to go and find that document. It's really cool. You going to turn up, Cam? Okay.
I have to. I can just keep teaching. You guys just won't be able to see the presentation, which really sucks because there's like a lot of pictures.
Oh, no, bring it back.
But can you see it, though? You can
No.
see it like this?
No, we see black. I see black.
All right.
That's my screen. Maybe that's my picture.
Okay, let me try.
Oh, no, they're saying they can see it. Okay, wait.
Oh, they could see it.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, well, I'm going to bring it back up again. Listen, okay, the kids are probably like, Lord, if you're doing that, we don't have any issues, these old people.
You don't understand how my 5th period has to tell me to plug in the speakers.
I'm like,
why is this not working? You're like, okay.
I'm gonna switch my what's the name of it?
Yes, Edel.
All right. Okay. We're back in action. All right. Now let me go to screen share again. Okay. A window. Okay.
Yay, we got it.
All right. Okay, we're gonna scroll down and come on. Now just be nice, all right? Don't do this to me. Come on. Do you guys see it? Or does it say loading?
It says loading.
Are you serious right now? Why would this be a thing? Oh my gosh. Okay. So
some motivation.
I know. So you know what? I'm going to, it's all right, because what I do is I have a hotspot. So
oh, hey.
We see it now. We see it.
You see it.
You guys.
It won't allow me to present, which is extremely weird. So like when I click on the present button, then that's when it goes blank and it just keeps.
Oh no, we can't hear you.
Classroom. But let's see. Oh, do y'all see that?
We see a white Google Slides.
Yeah, it's saying.
Back.
So I think what's happening is this is like something going on with Google Slides. I think it's down a little bit, which is fine. It's fine. As long as you guys can see this. Can you just see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll work it this way.
Okay.
As long as you can see the pictures.
Yeah.
That's what's important. Let me just try one more time because I just never give up. So it's definitely not the internet, it's Google Slides. Okay, so anyways, so back to the AME Church. So just so you guys know, the AME Church is one of the oldest in the country, and it's the oldest land owned by a Black person as well. And as you guys can see, that he purchased the land before the Civil War, well before it. So obviously Richard Allen was a very rich man. It was used as a stop on the Underground Railroad, and also there is a graveyard that's right next to it. So if there's anybody from South Philly and you've ever been to, I think it's called Wakoko Playground, there's actually a burial. It's a graveyard underneath, and it's actually a graveyard that was used by the Black community. And all of that land was owned by Richard Allen. All of the land that surrounds the church used to be owned by Richard Allen.
That's
and
what you mentioned. Edel mentioned Wikoko.
Wikoko?
Yeah.
You said you went there?
No, Edel mentioned it.
Oh, Edel. Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay. So he's been there before.
Yes.
She. Okay. Sorry, girl.
Yeah, I got major middle school flashbacks from seeing Wekiko again.
Oh, did you? And did they tell you when you went that it was a burial ground?
I remember everybody finding out at some point in like 6th or 7th grade, and then we all went kind of crazy with that information for like a month.
Oh my gosh. Well, it was a very we had the chance, and these pictures are actually my pictures. So we had the chance to visit, and when we visited the church in August of last year, this is when we found out all of the information regarding the burial ground. So I didn't even know, because I don't frequent South Philly very often. But these are some of the pictures. So Richard Allen is actually still buried there. And the reason why we're talking about this is because it was churches like these that served as the backdrop, not only for abolitionism, but also post-slavery. They had a newspaper, the Christian Recorder. And in those newspapers is where people will put their ads to try to find their loved ones. So that's why the African Methodist Church is so important. It's not just important because of slavery and Underground Railroad, but it's also important because of post-Civil War, and families were able to try to be reconnected by utilizing the church's resources. So that's if you guys can see, that is the tomb of Richard Allen. His wife is also buried there. Can you guys see the pictures, please? Someone just confirm.
Yeah, we see it.
Cool. I'm gonna try to go. Let me see if I can. Okay. Nope. All right. This is those blue plaques I was telling you guys about, the Free African Society, and this is again like literally a block up from. It's literally a block up from the Federal Donuts. And this is the museum, which is down in the basement portion of the church. I encourage all of you to go and visit. And this is outside of the church. And this plaque is also outside of the church, and it gives a little bit more information about it. And again, there's another blue plaque that is inside, that's outside the church, and it gives you some more information as well. So if you're ever down in South Philly, please, take some time to stop by. And this is, I'm not going to play the video. Maybe I will. But this was really important for us. When we found out about the burial ground, most of us got just like really emotional. And one thing that we wanted to do was a libation ceremony. And if you guys, I'm sure Ms. Williams probably went over this before maybe. But this is actually a ceremony that is done in Africa, and it's done during different times. It could be a wedding, it could be a funeral, it could be in remembrance of your ancestors. And it's something that we brought over here to the US with us, and we didn't even realize what we were doing. So some of you might be familiar with this if you've seen it in like some rap videos, but instead of pouring water, they might be pouring something else.
It was my Kwanzaa presentation, but the Kwanzaa presentation was cut short because Maisha got sick. She had to get knee surgery. So they never learned about libations because it's part of the Kwanzaa lesson.
Ceremony.
Yeah.
Yes, that's okay. Well, there you go. So this is actually something that African Americans have continued to utilize, and it's a tradition that we brought with us from Africa without even realizing it for many of us. So while they do it in the rap videos with something else, a little drinky drink, everyone else tends to use water, and it has to be done over greenery. So I'm going to play this video because I feel like it really highlights the experience that we shared.
I hope you can play it.
I hope
ancestors we didn't know. And we just want to honor you and pay homage to you. That people didn't respect you enough to just let you be in peace. So we don't know your names, but we're like 4 libations just in your honor. Ashe. We'll do 5 to represent 1 for each 1,000, so we'll do 4 more. Ashe.
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 Ashe Igbo.
Ashe.
And so it is believed that over 3,000 people are buried beneath the playground, to give you guys some perspective on that. And so the next time you guys visit the playground, keep that in mind. Yeah. So, now are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Wow. All right. So now it's working. Okay. So I also wanted to share a little bit of information because a lot of times when we talk about people from the time period, whether it's early abolitionism, a lot of times we tend to focus on like, what did the men do? There's a lot of praise given to Frederick Douglass, and maybe not so much Harriet Tubman or Sojourner. And even post Civil War, women actually stepped up to the front and tried to help out. And so one of those such women, one woman that helped to do that is Charlotte Forten-Grimke. Does anybody recognize these names? These last names are really big, heavyweight names. Anybody want to take a stab at who these names are connected to? I'm afraid to exit out of here. So
James,
I can't.
Oh no, that was Clouts. Who is Clouts anyway? So no one.
No one? Okay, cool. So now I get to share some new information. All right, so James Forten was a rich Black man here in Philadelphia. He actually owned a cell making company here, and he was one of few Philadelphians during his time period that owned their own home. And his home is also located down in Old City. And in his home, the American Abolitionist Society was created in his home. And that's the same one that was created by William Lloyd Garrison. So that actually happened in his home. And he was a huge abolitionist. He was very rich, and him and his wife were very instrumental in the abolitionist movement here in Philadelphia. Now, the Grimke sisters, you guys may or may not have learned about them because they were active not only in abolitionism, but they were also huge proponents of women's rights. They worked with Lucretia Mott, Elizabeth Cady Stanton. So they're important because they were, okay, so they were abolitionists. I'm writing on the board, you guys, I know you can't see. And they were also women rights supporters. So they were actually born to a plantation owner. Their father was a plantation owner, and he obviously had enslaved peoples working his plantation. So when they got older, they actually went north and they became abolitionists. And he left their plantation to their brother. Their brother then went on to obviously inherit the plantation and the enslaved peoples on it. And he went on to father children, probably through rape, with one of the enslaved women. I believe she had 3 sons by him. And they did not find out about them until later on. But when they found out about their nephews, they actually sent for them, paid for them to get an education, paid for their room and board, and took care of them. And so Charlotte Forten-Grimke she married a Grimke. She married one of the Black Grimkes, right? One of the nephews that the 2 sisters took care of and helped to get an education. And she is the granddaughter, or either the great-granddaughter of James Forten. So she comes from 2 huge juggernaut abolitionist families that had a lot of connections either to Philadelphia or were from Philadelphia. So, and that is what she looked like. So what do you think this picture symbolizes? Anybody can answer? Oh my God, 11:50. Great. Okay. Book in hand, sophisticated, educated. Yes, absolutely. Education status. Yes. Women empowerment. Yes.
Number 4.
My aunt? Really? Is she your aunt? She's my aunt. Is she really your aunt? All right. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gullible, clearly. Yeah, she's an educator, and she's a writer. And one of the things that she wrote about is her experiences with helping children after the Civil War had ended. So she says, I never before saw children so eager to learn. Although I had had several years experience in New England schools, coming to school is a constant delight and recreation to them. They come here as other children go to play. The older ones during the summer work in the fields from early morning until 11 or 12 o'clock and then come into school after their hard toil in the hot sun, as bright and as anxious to learn as ever. So anybody wanna, what sticks out to you? What makes this quote so interesting from Charlotte Forten-Grimke? Yes. You go.
So basically, it kind of shows that despite all of the kids, like all of their hard work that they're doing outside of school, it shows that like they're still super excited and super passionate about learning. Which is
Absolutely.
something that the other kids who don't have as much work to do and don't have as much responsibility kind of take for granted. Because she says she
Yeah.
doesn't see that kind of trait in a lot of other kids.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And she said, like, I've taught in New England. This energy that I feel from these children down here is very different. And that is because they have been denied. Yes, thank you. They have been denied so long to, yes, good job, James. They have been denied the opportunity so long to learn, and they were eager to learn, and that's what they did. And I find this so interesting because for a lot, for many reasons during slavery, they were not allowed to learn, and they were giving the stereotypes that they were dumb and slow and unable to learn and uneager to learn, and that's simply not the case as we see. All right, so we're going to end here. Thank you guys, as always, for rocking everything, even through the technical difficulties. I'm so sorry that we had that issue. Ms. Williams, do you have anything you want to say?
Let me find my mic. Hold on.
Oh, we hear you.
Oh, you hear me? Yeah, thank you. It was awesome. I was not expecting to see my name up there, so that was a little moving for me.
I know. I said I have to use that one. I'm sorry, and I didn't give you a heads up.
I'm going to use it from now on as well. So thank you for that. I enjoy it and I learn and I love interacting with my students. And I found out that's Chris. Ionic Clouds is Chris.
Oh,
okay. Because I kept asking who was that. Bye, James. Bye, everyone. Daisy. Thank you, guys.
I'll see y'all on Monday.
Thanks, Keziah. See you.
Oh, my dog loved it. Nice meeting you guys. See? Bye. So we'll see you on Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Enjoy your weekend.
Hudson really liked it. He was sitting here the whole time.
Hudson misses people too.
Yeah, I think he's sick of me. I just thought I should share that. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys. Stay safe.
Bye.
I love Tiffany.